Do you want to talk about the Mod Institute?
Okay, so VA Venkatraman Associates is a pure play consultancy company which works across multiple typologies for multiple kinds of clients.
Right.
We work for corporates, we work for the government a lot, and we also work for real estate quite a bit. But I started feeling about it not now, 30 years ago, that we are great at creating buildings in India. We've hit, if you ask me, in terms of build quality, we've hit 10 on 10. Not every building, but some of them at
Yeah.
least. We can produce a world class building in India. And if you look at the interiors design, that would be a 15 on 10. What I see in India is much better than what I see outside India. The sheer quality and the luxury of that finish. You don't see that even you don't see that outside
No.
India. But all you have to do is step outside your
Cocoon.
beautiful home or office or see, and the road has a ditch with running sewage in it.
Yeah.
So I think the great challenge now for India now is to make our outdoors as at least as good as our indoors. The infrastructure state of a country is minus 20 on 10. If you ask me, it's really poor.
Jabki, there has been so much of a push in the last few
Even then,
years.
it went from minus 30 to minus 20. So it's going to take some more time to come to even to zero.
Yeah.
But what is happening is it's not that we don't know what to do. It's not, it's
Sure.
the system, the government system, because it's all in control of the government,
Right.
that whole segment, the government system is almost designed to fail and it has not been reformed over in. See, our business models in the private sector have dramatically changed, right? In the last, what your father was doing, business is not what your grandfather was doing, and
No.
it's not what you're doing.
No.
You're changing. But look at government. What this government is doing was the same what that government was doing. I mean, take simple things like government offices do not have their own email ID. You want to talk to a government guy, he gives you a Gmail ID. You cannot even communicate. They have not even got past step one with them. They still feel that things have to be secretive. There's no accountability. There's no enforceability of any law. How do you do that unless some changes happen to that there is accountability? This is never going to change. This you still keep getting the bad road. If you do that same road inside your campus, a private campus, and you are the guy responsible, you'll be fired within 6 months.
Oh, that road of that quality would never be built. Fire to
Yeah, but
kabhi
if you
hoga hi
did
nahi.
that, it's gone.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in a private sector, you
Yeah.
don't even know who did it. Is gone. Today they will put bitumen on the road, and tomorrow some guy will come and dig it up.
Right.
They don't coordinate with each other. So there's a lot of structural problems which is causing poor quality of the external. That is on the government side. From a people side also, there is a lot of psychology issues. It's what I call in India the tragedy of the commons. We think that the commons, the common part of the city, that is the roads, the streets, the open spaces, is somebody's sarkar ke problem.
Yeah.
We don't see it as ours, as a people. And it's not nothing to do with relative wealth of the country or
No, it's just an attitude.
it's an attitude problem. So if you go to say Turkey, right, the economic situation is not very different from India. There are
Right.
a lot of poor people, there are a lot of extremely rich people. There's a big middle class.
Yeah.
Sparkling clean. There's not a
Absolutely.
single piece of garbage anywhere. You go to Vietnam, that's actually in some parts of it is poorer than this country.
Right.
Super clean. People own the public space. It's a cultural thing. So we also don't know how to. We tend to sweep our house and clean our house and throw it over the compound wall, right outside.
And then we have sweepers who have to be employed,
And
then
we
who
think
then
it's
cleans it. It's
somebody
their
else's
job.
problem. So
Yeah.
that attitude has to change in India. Unless that changes, how it's going to change, it's got to be driven by both cultural institutions, by religious institutions, etc. They have to come in and say, please don't do this anymore.
So how is the Mod Institute fitting into
So the
this?
Mod Institute is the CSR initiative of VA.
Right.
It's part of the same organization. but it's a non-profit. The byline of Mod Institute is changing cities, and it meant to study the change as well as physically change it.
Right.
It's not just another research tank saying all this is wrong. So we find out what is wrong and propose to the government how to set it right.
And
And we've had some, most of the time we fail, but
but
we've
you've had
had
a few
some success.
successes.
Yeah, once in a while we succeed.
So
We've
that
done a very nice pedestrian oriented street in Bangalore called Church
Church
Street,
Street, yeah.
and which has now become a victim of its own success. We had proposed 8 like that in the city, they built only 1. So the whole city lands up there on weekends, and a street which used to see a footfall of 30, 40,000 people on a weekend now gets more than 1 lakh on a weekend, and the street can't handle it. It's just getting
Yeah.
overcrowded, and the experience is starting to. But the city is not repeating that for various reasons, whether it's political or governance. It's not happening.
I hope this reaches the right audience and they start it again because
Yeah,
uh,
earlier than that, we had another program called Tender Sure, which also made sure that the roads that we built had the right footpaths. The roads would last at least 5 to 10 years without any. The whole center of Bangalore, about 50 kilometers, has perfect roads and perfect footpaths. So if
yes.
you hang around in the middle of the city, you think it's great.
Yeah.
But outside that, the whole thing just falls apart. And these are all. There's also another big C lurking in the elephant in the room there, which is also a thing which has to be dealt with. As the city is now getting more and more affluent, people are also, there are a lot of other issues that crop up, particularly when it comes to getting permits
Right.
and building the right amount and so on.
So
So